Hi, my name is Teacher Cathy, and what's your name?
My name is Marisa.
Okay. Hi, Melissa. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Okay. Have you eaten your breakfast?
Yes, I did.
Oh, so what did you do this weekend?
This weekend I went for an exercise. Yeah, I went for an exercise. I had fun playing badminton with my cousins. We went to the sea and yeah, a lot of fun stuffs.
Mm, well, so okay, that's great to know. And before we get start, can you see and hear me well?
Yes, I can, teacher.
Okay, great. So, for our lesson, do you have a copy?
Yes, I have, teacher.
So, our topic would be women in entrepreneurship. So, can you read the article? The title
Yes, teacher.
first.
Okay. Women in entrepreneurship.
Okay. So, can you read the whole sentences?
Yes, I can. Women constitute 52% of the total European population, but only 34.4% of the European Union are self-employed and 30% are startup entrepreneurs. Women are the largest entrepreneurial and leadership potentials in Europe. Only 5 to 15% of high-tech businesses are owned by women. Although women are often early adopters of new technology, they decide to start a technology business. If technological developments are almost entirely conducted by men, then half of society is not represented in the development process. A more diverse ecosystem leads to better products and services, grants access to new and different experiences, and significantly improves the work environment and company as well as the talent productivity. In addition, the young girls' interest and enthusiasm in digital entrepreneurship and leadership are often reduced over time by stereotyping, cultural differences, peer pressure, and lack of inspiration or role models, resulting in a lack of confidence to engage with entrepreneurship, leadership, and technology.
Okay, thank you. That's good job. So, can you use any of the words and phrases like constitute?
Constitute mm, women. Women constitute more than half of the European population.
Okay, great. So, how about self-employed?
Self-employed. My my aunt is self-employed. She runs her own bakery. She
Okay, nice. So, you have a bakery. What types of breads does she bakes?
mm, bread pie, egg egg bread. Mm, Mar, what do you call that? Egg bread, chocolate bread. There's a lot.
That sounds delicious. So, how about startup entrepreneurs?
Start up.
Yes, can you
Okay.
use it in a sentence?
Okay. Yes, again. Startup entrepreneurs take risks to turn their ideas into successful companies.
Like, can you be more specific
Okay.
of the
So,
company?
into success, startup entrepreneurs take risks to turn their ideas into successful companies like tech in tech industries.
Okay, that sounds interesting. But how about high-tech businesses? Can you use it in a sentence?
High-tech businesses are growing fast in the digital age.
Okay, great. How about early adapters?
Early adopters. So early adopters quickly bought the latest smartphone when it was released.
Okay, nice. How about diverse ecosystem?
Diverse ecosystem. I got this name. A diverse ecosystem is business creates better products and services.
Mm. How about enthusiasm?
Enthusiasm. Um, the students showed great enthusiasm for learning English.
And about stereotyping?
Stereotyping. Stereotyping people, uh, stereotyping girls as bad at math can lower their confidence.
Mm. How about peer pressure?
Peer pressure. He started smoking because of peer pressure from his classmates.
And how about role models?
Role models. Role models play a big role in other people's lives.
Mm. So, do you think that women in Europe are role models when it comes to entrepreneurship?
Women, yeah, I think so.
And do you think that they are peer pressure to enter entrepreneurship or in businesses?
Yeah, yes, I think so.
How come do you think that they are being uh, having that peer pressure when it comes to business?
I think women feel peer pressure, especially in doing businesses, because it's not a common thing for women, especially because of how it works with stereotyping that people usually think women should do easier jobs, that they should do something that's more comfortable than the kind of jobs that men do. And in some cultures, women are expected to just stay at home, take care of their children, and do stuff like that. There's there's peer pressure whenever women enters businesses.
Thank you for expressing. And how about your opinion? Do women being enthusiastic as an entrepreneurship when it terms in their business in Europe?
Sorry, what was it again?
Are they? Do you think they are enthusiastic? I mean, are they happy being in maybe in the high tech businesses?
Mm, yeah, I think they're happy.
Maybe because of the numbers, right?
Yeah. Because it
So,
might feel excited exploring different things, especially knowing that there's not that much number of women in that field. So it's fun. I think it's fun for them.
so, can you please summarize the article in your own words?
Yeah. Yeah. So the article says that even though women are more than half of Europe's population, there are fewer of them who become entrepreneurs, especially in technology. Most tech businesses are still started by men, which means women's ideas are missing. So if more women joined, companies and society would benefit from better products, more creativity, and stronger workplaces. But many girls lose confidence in pursuing tech and leadership because of stereotypes, culture, and lack of role models. So women are underrepresented compared to their population size. It is stated in the article that there are only about 52% of the total European population. However, only 34.4 are self-employed and 30% are startup entrepreneurs, which means that there's only 5 to 15% of them who are in high tech. So that's a little low for the total population. The article argues that this lack of women means society uh, society is missing out on diverse perspectives in innovation.
Okay. So, what is your personal view or opinion on the topic?
I think the topic is very interesting. It's not a common type of article we could read somewhere, so I find it really interesting. I enjoy reading it. And I love the idea that there's the number of women in entrepreneurship is growing. And I love that women are exploring different ideas, especially in those fields that where there are not the where women are not commonly working or seen, are not commonly exposed to. So it's kind of interesting and it's inspiring, especially stated in the article that despite of this, because of the less amount of women in the tech industry or in that field, they find it hard to get motivated in doing so because as humans, it somehow makes us feel motivated if we have someone we look up to. Like we have this idea that I want to be like that person. So it's much easier to have it than to start something on our own. So if that happens, like if there are more women in businesses, especially in technology and startups, it would be more inspiring and more beautiful. The world would have like a broader sense of perspectives, new ideas, and it would be very amazing. So I like the art.
Okay, that's an awesome answer. So, student discuss any of the following guide question. So, are women well respected among startup entrepreneurs in Europe?
So I think no,
Why do you think that women are not, well represented among startup entrepreneurs in Europe?
because according to the article, it says that women make up make up 52% of the population, but only 30% of startup entrepreneurs, which means if we subtract the two, there is 22% of the population who yet are not yet are not represented well in that field. So yeah, no is my answer.
But in the same way, are men represent the startup entrepreneurs in Europe?
Yep, I think so because um there are a lot of men there are a lot of men in that industry. So I think considering how there's a lot of them, so they should be well represented. Uh, Also, it is stated in the article that if technological developments are almost entirely conducted by men, then half of society is not represented in the development process, which means that since there's less amount of women in the industry, so there's most of the technological developments are conducted by men. So I presume they are well represented.
So maybe what do you think are the strengths of women if they represent startup or being entrepreneurs in Europe?
Hmm. I think one of the strengths would be having a new and broader perspectives, especially knowing that we as women often view things in different perspectives. Like we tend to think of things in different ways, not just a single way. So we're like, what if this happens? What if we do this? What if we do that? So we have like lots of ideas. And if we work on them, it could make a big difference. A more diverse, a more diverse type of, environment where anything could be, any idea could be let's say that where you could make any idea give where you could give any idea possibility of into reality. Yeah.
Do you think they have weakness in representing startup entrepreneurs in Europe?
Maybe. Yeah.
So what are those weakness that do you may come when in terms with women being entrepreneurs in Europe?
So I think one of their weaknesses would be since they're just like it's a new field for them, for most of them. So there might be a lot of mistakes that could happen or lapses at the very beginning. Yeah, that and maybe for some people, especially the ones who've been in business for like a long time, it might be something. It might be hard for them. Yeah.
How about in men? Do they
Excuse me,
have
teacher. Can I excuse for a moment? Can I excuse for a moment?
why? Okay, go ahead. Just make it quick. Um, so for my next question, what are some challenges of becoming self-employed women in Japan?
I think some of the challenges of becoming a self-employed woman in Japan would be this.
Okay, so the question number two, what are some challenges of becoming self-employed woman in Japan?
I think sure some of the challenges of becoming a self-employed woman in Japan would be the stereotypes, the cultural expectations, and lack of role models can make it harder. For example, a woman who opens her own cafe in Japan might face pressure to focus on family instead of business. That's it, sure.
And do you think that it's like really a challenge to be self-employed woman, single woman in Japan being self-employed?
Yes, of course, sure. I agree.
So number three, what kinds of high-tech businesses can you find female entrepreneurs and why?
So the high-tech businesses that I can find female entrepreneurs would be in education platforms or health tech apps. Because according to the article, there's only 5 to 15% that are owned by women, which means that excuse me, that often because men dominate the tech field and women face barriers to entry. Also, um, there are a fewer, there are fewer, women are fewer in that field because men still dominate the tech startups.
How can you say that male dominates tech businesses?
Just given the total population of the women, especially in Europe, there is only a few percent, a lower percentage for women working in the field industry. So that constitutes still a higher percentage of men, which would mean they dominate the tech startups more than women.
Okay. So can you give like tech startup for women?
A tech startup for women. I'm sorry, sure, but I'm not so familiar with tech startups.
Okay. So well, tech startups, technology, starting business with technology, like Steve Jobs started Apple, like Ford by Henry Ford in the automotive businesses, and like Toyota, right, in Japan. So, what do you think? What is the major contribution if somehow female dominates high-tech businesses?
I think that would very really be interesting. There would be a new opportunities for, of course, female employees as well, because if there would be female CEOs or owners of businesses, then it would inspire women too, especially the young ones, and even those ones who are aiming for doing who aims for doing the same thing. It would give them the motivation to also do stops like the ones that they're doing. So it would be really nice.
So, can you give your own example of stereotyping?
Okay, so one example would be uh, people often stereotype Boys are always better at fixing computers than girls.
But what kinds of role models will help develop a more diverse ecosystem?
So I think successful women leaders and entrepreneurs in technology and business can inspire young girls to pursue those fields, knowing that
Mm.
there is already a higher number of women in a certain field. It would also give them the motivation to do the same, teacher.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for that. So I see how you answer those questions well. Just some fillers. It's just very fast. But the main point is that you can still improve your pronunciation, the grammar. Just keep on reading and continuing learning with our classes. Okay, so that can improve more of your language. So thank you and see you in my
Thank you, teacher.
next class.
See you.